ready to go.
Good afternoon. Sorry about the delay. My name is Grant Kruger. I'm the Technical Vocational Coordinator for Frontier School Division. And I was to be, if you looked at the menu for the MERN conference, it said Tyson McGilvery and I believe Gary Neufeld were going to be my partners in crime today. Well, through circumstances beyond our control, I am going to introduce Dennis Giesbrecht. Our lead carpenter is replacing Gary for our presentation today. He takes care of our builds for Manitoba Housing remote builds in remote location. And Vanessa Turner, if you just come up for a sec. Vanessa is one of the products of the programming that started a few years back with our expanded options program and is now part of Frontier Builders, but we'll explain that a little bit later. Thank you. Just have a seat while I get the show on the road. So what we're going to endeavor to do today is to show you the grand scope of where we are across the division and how we got to Frontier Builders. And the succession plan that has worked so well with building construction is now being implemented in all of our trade areas. You know, hairstyling, mechanics, welding, all of our programs are following this very model. So even though today we're going to focus primarily on the building construction program and the format that we use to put the students in the best place and the best practices for our division and for our students in our schools in remote areas. We'll talk about that as we move forward. And I wanted to have Vanessa come and share her story and Dennis to share his story as to how the Frontier Builders is making a huge impact in Northern Manitoba today and with all of our schools. So this has been something, if you've been watching Frontier School Division over the last 5, 6, 7 years, the Explore, Expand experience has been our main focus for Explore is what we do at our early years and middle years. So as students from grades 5, 6, 7, 8, we give programming into the schools that gives them a glimpse of many career paths. I could talk about that for an hour and a half but I just want to explain a little bit about the exploring is about those initial connections between industry partners that we use, educational partners that we draw from, that come and talk directly to the students. We bring the show to the students. Expand that's the grade 9 and 10 model with expanded options program. We take some delivery at home, at remote communities, and some we bring students from all over the province to take part in what we deliver at Cranberry Portage. And and why Cranberry? We have the residents here. We can house the students here. We have our Egg Lake facility, which houses nearly 80 people, and we have the overflow when residence is in session at Cranberry, and we can feed, house, and transport the people from across the province. And then the experience is what we're here to focus on today. The experience is when we actually put the rubber to the road. These are the career aspirations of many of our students that are being realized either with high school apprenticeship or with post-graduation apprenticeship or training in post-secondary education. And we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. This is where this all came from, was the strategic goal of our Frontier School Division's master plan about all students being provided with appropriate education programming. And you can read that, but it's about appropriate education no matter what the hardship, like no matter what the geographic location is, no matter, we struggle, and I mean we struggle daily in making sure we deliver absolutely the best programming in the province, I dare say in the country. I don't know of a building construction program that is as developed as ours is anywhere in Canada. And I say that pretty emphatically, where students are building to the code every minute of their day when we're teaching them. And it's dramatic. And we do the same thing in our welding program. We do the same thing in our hairstyling program. Our accredited programming means we don't lower the bar, we raise the bar. We raise the children to the bar. And anyway, but we do this at great effort to make sure that no matter a student from, Brochet, Churchill, Falcon Beach, they can all come and be part of this. with us without them being taxed financially. It works absolutely into the Career Studies Department's mantra. Is about fair and equitable education. So without further ado, what I'd like to do, because I would hate to run out of time while our guests don't get a chance to talk, I'm going to let them talk, tell their story, and then I'll fill in the blanks after. Okay, so while Vanessa and Dennis are explaining what Frontier Builders means to them and how they got there, there will be some photographs that we'll just cycle through. And if you have any questions, you can relay them to the mechanism that's been put in place for questioning. But my web or my email is grant.kruger, Kreuger, and if there's any questions, I know that last time we presented about the 4+1 and EOP, I had a lot of questions about what that is, and we'll explain that after these two are finished. I'll explain what all these acronyms are about. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Vanessa Turner. Right now, I am a level 1 apprentice for carpentry. My journey began when I was still in high school. They introduced this program to us. It was called 4+1 and the expanded options program. So the program, they just have like a bunch of courses such as like healthcare or cooking and building construction, woodworking, mechanics, everything. And they give you an option of picking three courses that you would be interested in. And the first one you pick, I guess, is the one they put you in. So I started mine. I'm pretty sure I took woodworking. And that's where I started, and I liked it. I enjoyed it because I like using my hands to work, and it's hands-on experience, so I really enjoyed it. Then from there, I dropped out of high school. I was maybe in grade 11 when I did, and I didn't go back to school for maybe 2 years. So I was living in my community of Cormorant, and my principal at the time, Edie Turner, she put my name into this program they were just starting. It was called the Engaged Learners Program. So she put my name into that program, and it's for people like helping students get back into school. And so I decided why not, because I wanted to get back into school, and that was an easy way to do it because she put my name in. And so I went to the Engaged Learners Program, and out there they helped you with your math and your English. They helped you. They had a driver's course. They helped you go for your learners, building construction, mechanics, culinary arts, healthcare, childcare. So after I did my EOP program and was going to Egg Lake, I decided I was going to take building construction because I enjoyed woodworking so much and doing that. So I decided to go into building construction. And I did pretty good out in Egg Lake. I was the one who left the program with top marks and everything. So they asked us if I wanted to sign up for the building construction course in Cranberry at the NTC. So I said yeah, and they put me into that program. And from there, it was a year program, and I wasn't done high school yet. That program, I would go, I would take it every day. Well, it's we would do work, but for carpentry, like not school work. So I wanted to graduate. So on my own time, I went and I signed myself up for adult ed. I took adult ed during my after schools and evenings, and from there I was doing my built-in construction course at the same time. And when I was done my course, I graduated. I got my diploma, and I'm very proud of that because I wanted to do that for so long. Then, after I was done high school, after I graduated, got my diploma, I just went back to my hometown of Cormorant. I went and stayed there, and I got a phone call from a company, Graham Construction. They were building a new residence here in Cranberry. I didn't even put my resume in. I didn't even know my name was in there. They're the ones who called me and asked me if I wanted a job. And so of course, I said yeah, and I took it. And I worked on this new residence in Cranberry for 4 months. Then from there, I wasn't working for a while, and I was off. And I'm not sure who contacted me, but somebody contacted me about Frontier Builders. And they told me that they were going to start a program building houses and for people that finished the building construction course were working on their level 1. And so from there, I went and started working with them, and that's where I am today, and I am still working with them. I am a level 1 apprentice, and I will soon be going back to school for my level 2, and from there, I hope to keep moving up and hopefully be a journeyman pretty soon. Hopefully, But Frontier Builders, I've really enjoyed working with them, and without all these programs, I don't even think I wouldn't even probably be done school. I'd probably be still staying at home in Cormorant, not working, not doing nothing. So I'm really glad that I took this opportunity, and started out small, but look at now, I'm finishing big. And that's my story. Thank you.
Well, I can't compete against that. Hi, my name is Dennis Giesbrecht. I'm the head carpenter for the Frontier Builders. I got a call in this program about 2.5 years ago when they started initiating this Frontier Builders program. And as everybody knows, that in the school system and with the government system, everything takes a while. I said yes. At that point, I was interested. I met Tyson McGilvery, who is the assistant superintendent. I met Brent Johnson, who is the adult ed instructor. Gary Neufeld, who runs the building aspect of it, and we sat down, discussed, and I said, sure, I would. I mean, I've always been keen on teaching people. I received my Red Seal when I was mid-80s. I was still quite young. I had the fortune of doing exactly what Vanessa's doing, getting a job with a company. And working, and after that I worked with younger people too, to make sure they were educated. I take great honor in the quality of work I produce. I really like the program that Frontier runs because I think it's an opportunity for these people to learn more. Like Vanessa was saying, to get out in the community, to come to Ag Lake, go to the EOP, come to 4+1. We did sign. We started full-time last February. We did a build in Moose Lake for Manitoba Housing. It was an addition onto a house that, as so many know, that the northern communities are lacking big time. Houses overcrowding on a lot of houses. That we were able to add 3 bedrooms onto a house in Moose Lake for a family, a relatively large family. After that build, we had we'd finished that in the end of May. we were able to finish a couple other projects for Frontier that they were doing. We started again in September with a house for Manitoba Housing in Cormorant. We have signed a deal with Manitoba Housing to build, I believe it's 8 houses in the next 4 years for them in northern communities, or possibly at our Egg Lake facility. I mean, we are building one there right now with students who are working toward their level 1 apprenticeship. After the program is done there at Egg Lake, they write an exam, whether they pass or fail, if they pass, they get their level 1 apprenticeship, and they can carry on. It's like Grant said earlier, we just because we have students that come from difficult situations does not mean we lower the bar when we're building. I've been known to build with the same standards on a 1,000 square foot house up in the community as I did on $1 million houses in some of the richer parts of Winnipeg. I think that these people of the North deserve the same quality as anybody else deserves across Canada. I'm very proud to be part of this organization. I think that they do a wonderful job in bringing kids in from everywhere. It's not an easy process, and it's sometimes not a fun process when you spend the dollars that the school division spends and have students that don't seem to want to be there or whatever, but due to the fact that they have tons of problems. They come from all different walks of life. Like I've told Vanessa, and Vanessa's one of my star employees, and I take that as an employee. She works under me in Cormorant, not necessarily an employee, but she was an employee of the school division. They have different struggles than I grew up with. I mean, and they, for one, they're in the North, which hopefully in the next years that doesn't become a factor, that the North can have some of the same opportunities as the South does. The schools should all be taught to have the same education system, the same career choices that anybody in the southern bigger cities have. Manitoba Housing has been fortunate, we've been fortunate to sign up with Manitoba Housing, and I look forward to the next 4 years building with them. I look forward to bringing more students in like Vanessa to increase my workforce. We have now have one other person that we will be hiring come February that graduated last year in June, got his apprenticeship, and as that goes, the more we can bring on, the better it is for the communities of the North. I look forward to seeing the school also develop on some of their other things, because I've worked in the North quite a bit, and the electrical and plumbing aspect that we've just started. We ran our first electrical course in Egg Lake this last 3 weeks, and electrical is one of the big things that these communities need as well, because the fact that with Manitoba Hydro, you need an electrician to bring power to your house. You can have people build your house that aren't necessarily Red Seal or certified, but you need certified electricians to do the work. And that's becoming with plumbing. It is becoming more like that with the Red Seal carpenters as well. And that's why I'm pushing for people like Vanessa to get their Red Seal. I've enjoyed having her. I've enjoyed the program. I'm hoping to have everyone who joins become a Red Seal and continue working that way. I'm not sure what else, but I know it's a struggle with Frontier. But the biggest thing is they're giving the kids and the young adults of the North the opportunity that they can succeed and and further their career into whatever choice they make. I mean, they have lots of choices, and but I'm just proud to be part of the carpentry course. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Dennis. When the pictures were going by there, you could see the two red houses. Those were the first two homes that we did with Manitoba Housing 2 years ago. And Vanessa was on that build. She was in the cohort of students that they built the basements in the coldest winter of the northern history, and she worked in that frigid cold with the rest of those students. Instead of taking the day off on the days that we poured concrete, we put them in better clothes. We put them in the very best Arctic suits and Arctic boots that we could get for working conditions. And we had a warm-up trailer, and the students worked all the way through. It was remarkable efforts that we used to put that building together, or those buildings together. And then, like she said, no sooner did she graduate from building construction, and she went on to Graham Construction and built the school she had just graduated from, which is pretty remarkable. The mechanics program that we're developing right now, this is the brand new power mechanics building that was built at the same time our residence was there, or was built. We're using the same model that we used for building the Frontier Builders is now Frontier Power, and that's powering communities and powering people. And it's those are strong statements, but it's like I said before, it's the career studies mantra. It's about equity in education, and it's the best model that goes in the province. It's all right. I'm just going to move forward because we're going to run out of time here. So the model as it exists is, we use, like I said before, we explore during the middle years, and you'll see a couple of photographs here. We go into the Northern Manitoba Mine Academy an awful lot. We were just there yesterday with a group of students, plus our power mechanics students and our law enforcement students were there over in the last 3 weeks, and they do an exceptional job of exposing the students again during the tours and their interactive sessions at that mine academy. They got a chance to see an industry that it's completely foreign to our students, and it's an exceptional group of people that are there, and the facility. It is a world. It's like nothing else in the world. They get everything from mine equipment to geology and the rock formations that put us in the north. In many cases, mining is a huge piece of northern history, and it's a great location to take students. The middle years program has been expanding over the last 2 years, and we now cover a myriad of trades areas, but not just trades. We're into educational assistant, early childhood education. We do firefighting, community protector, community security, we call it. And that the students that just left, the 4+1 just ended today, and the students were here for 3 weeks. They did 1 week of law enforcement, 1 week of firefighting, and 1 week of conservation. And the conservation officers, and the students got embedded at UCN with the classes that are running currently there. And it was an exceptional experience for those students. They get a chance to see, they're high school students, but they get a chance to actually see what the postgraduate student would see. Or would be part of, and it was fantastic. We ran early childhood education is a piece of educational assistant, because both are needed in every community of Frontier. So when we look at developing the programming for our middle years, it's about what our needs are as adults and at the community level, and as the largest employer in many of the communities that it's incumbent upon us to feed our own machine. And so, the pieces that fit the community level from the provincial standpoint, being forestry, hydro, mining, the bigger employers, that's easy to do, pretty easy to do. It's the smaller pieces, like educational assistant, like early childhood education, to convince the students to be a law enforcement officer. You got to show them. You got to lead you've got to sort of lead the conversation, and that's the job that the Middle Years Explore Options program is like, and that's what it does. So depending on the community and the conversation that we have at the community level, it changes the menu every time the circus comes to town. The trailers that you see in the lower right-hand corner, we have the power mechanics trailer. That's primarily everything to do with bench metals, welding, and small engines. And we take that in there and that's into the communities, and along with a welding simulator. And we have an instructor from UCN that joins us in that journey. And we go into the communities. We do 2 hours, anything from 2 hours to 2.5 hour sessions with students at the early years. And expose them to those heavy mechanical trades. And it's always tradespeople that deliver that for us. They're all experienced individuals. Many of them have retired and do this as not as a hobby because we pay them, but they are extremely they're wise in their years, senior individuals that have patience and the ability to tell the student what the career is really like. It's not, I wouldn't say it's, they don't coddle the children. They give them a true exposure of what the industry can do. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyway, the building construction programs that we do in all of our early years and our EOP will be the next stage. As always, we build with code, so that no matter if we're building a doghouse or an ice shack, it's built to code, so that the students, as they get into their senior years, if they choose to continue to be part of the building construction program, it's a language that's not foreign to them. So CareerX is another portion of our Explore stage. CareerX is a partnership that we have with Wise Kinetic Energy out of the University of Manitoba and University College of the North and the Northern Mine Academy, where we expose students to the engineering streams that the University of Manitoba has. So the students have a week-long camp, and we bring in their student teachers from the university that come and work with their students. They work in small pods we bring in 80 students typically. They work in small pods of 20 students at a time. And they give them exposure into what the engineers do as they would reach out into the real world as a post-graduation with a degree. And then the other one that's not on here that we've been doing in the early years portion that I've missed was the Career Trek. We've been doing that for a number of years, and it's aimed at elementary schools across Manitoba. But we've been working just developing a program where we can work within that transition to help in the transition from early years to high school. And they don't typically work in that group, but we have a wonderful gentleman, Daryl Schotten, down here at UC. He works with us and with UCN, and we've been exploring opportunities to, again, just broaden that the span of what UCN can deliver and what Frontier can benefit from that. Oh, sorry. Again, when we get to our expand section, these are high school credits that we currently run. EOP is, again, it's the expanded options program. We invite students across the division. I don't limit the numbers, or we don't limit the numbers. We have many of the programs we'll do at the home base of the community. We can take the resources there if it's better served. Currently, we run robotics. We started a couple of years ago with ICTAM, was a company out of an organization out of Winnipeg, and they help us deliver a top level robotics program. Chris Schultz is the instructor. He was just in China. He's going to be in Dubai next week. This guy goes around the world teaching this. And he is the best. And he's in Grand Rapids right now because the majority of the students from our robotics EOP class, they're from Grand Rapids. And rather than take the students out to out of their home community, it was easier for us to send the individual there. And they had robots up and down the hallway knocking on the door, and it's been a remarkable week for those students. Now I understand that we're making efforts to have that team enter the robot wars in Manitoba. That'll be fantastic. So, but that's just one example of many of the things that we deliver, but it's all about the engagement and the opportunity that a student, no matter what they wish, we're going to try to put it up there. If there's health careers, if there's teaching careers, education, security, firefighting, when the conversation has started at the student level and at the community level, our job is to try to find a way to at least explore the option and have that conversation. You'll see line cook is there. Line cook came from a couple of requests that we had from students that worked in Manitoba housing or Manitoba hydro communities where they're large kitchen facilities that need to be manned. And we had a student from Gillam and one primarily from Grand Rapids that are in my memory that they said, I want to be a cook. How do I get to be a cook? It's not part of your EOP. So we started, it was a good, I get phone calls from our students. We only have 6 students that come through FCI's culinary arts program. It's a very small number, and it's difficult to feed a market that wants more. The bush camps want cooks, the lodges want cooks, especially in the summer. We've had great success with the few students that we can have, so we wanted to expand our options. And so I contacted a young lady who just moved here and bought the Viking Lodge, and she's teaching line cook for us. We just went through our first session, and it was very successful. And it looks like that'll be part of our delivery now for EOP. So students that want to be in the culinary arts, they can take this line cook, gives them the employability skills in one small course. They get, say, food handling, first aid, WMIS, and they then are taking the very basic, they can run a cafeteria, a delicatessen, a concession at an arena, and that's the primary step to becoming a culinary arts student, and they can continue down that path if that's their career choice. One of the things, too, that we've been putting together as a welding program that links directly to our power mechanics program. Welding is a component of all the mechanical trades. So we use it as a foundation, and we have an agreement with UCN. We have 100 days of the year. One of the welding instructors is at our beck and call. He goes in with the welding simulators. His name is Dean Custer. He goes into the small communities and delivers programming 1-week blocks that starts them with the welding simulator and leads them into sparking and arc. And so those students in 1 week, and they're all day, every day, they're embedded in that program. If the student had an interest, we've been able to feed that, and it's been highly successful. And I'll show you, there's a slide that we'll talk about in a bit. That's the power mechanics trailer. Goes in, it'll do small engines and it'll do welding. And those two gentlemen, again, senior years, lots of experience and lots of engagement. It's been 100%. If the kids come in the door, they're going out happy. And that's the key piece of what all of these things is about, the engagement. The Engaged Learners program is expanded from just a basic carpentry model where they just had the basics. Now we do power mech, we do more welding, we do early childhood education, essential skills is always a piece, resume building is always a piece of the importance of that backfill that needs to happen at the Engaged Learners. I don't know if everybody knows, but the Engaged Learners program was developed for specifically students that were out of school at least 2 years and under 21. That was the criteria. And come from anywhere. They didn't necessarily have to come from just a frontier school. They could come, any student can come. So that model has just been growing and growing, and now we have a waiting list. And so I'm getting the 5 minutes to go. This is. I'll just briefly talk a little bit more about the housing projects that we have 2 primary customers. I get the call almost every day. I get calls, can you build me a house? Can you build me a cabin? We don't do that. We're not in this for commercial gain. We do it for Manitoba Housing in a very strict contract. And right now we just signed a new agreement with them for 4 years and to build 8 houses. And Frontier schools, if you work for Frontier, we have many teacherages across Manitoba, and some have a best before date that's being, we need to replace our own homes. So we've been building 2 homes, the plan is to build 2 homes a year, and they're unique homes. They're small, but serviceable. They all have to be, there's the criteria of our home designs, that's these ones down in the bottom. They have to be able to go through the bridges of northern Manitoba and get on a barge. So and that can be done. And those are the houses. They're 840 square feet, and the dimensions keep them from taking the roof off when they go under a bridge. We build 2 houses at a time in the NTC at the Northern Technical Center, and we build 2 at Egg Lake. And when we say 2 at Egg Lake, 1 is being built at Cormorant, a stick build that's from the ground up. And I thought I had a picture of that one, but I guess I don't. But they are of, one is a RTM that's being built at Egg Lake, and the other one is building with the crew in Cormorant. And they move every day to work. So they go to the work site. The support trailer that you see up at the top there is, everybody has probably seen that now, the Frontier Builders Truck and Trailer Show. That was the initial mobile delivery that we use. Everything that you need to build a house is in that trailer. And the Frontier Builders website went live a week ago, so that employers and employees and students from across the division can go to one website, and all of the paperwork, because it's a lot of work. It's taken a lot of work to get to a student to get onto an apprenticeship through the high school apprenticeship program and through a post-secondary apprenticeship program. But all of the paperwork that gets the student to that and to the JRS, the job referral system that the government requires a student to be registered on, is at our website. And that's the goal. We hired an individual to make sure that all the stuff, all the important information could be at one location. It's because otherwise you're doing a dance and it takes a long time. And then the contact information is all coming there. So it's frontierbuilders.org, and it's on all of our information that we're passing around. The top right-hand corner, that was the initial concrete pour, if you can see that in the 45 below that day. So this map represents where the trailers have gone or where we've made an investment across the division in the last 3 years. Initially, we started with just building construction, but it's been growing into the building construction trailer goes into small, like Gibsonville just built a greenhouse last year. Falcon Beach, I think, did a greenhouse 2 years ago. So the trailer will come in, support, will send us an individual that will lead the students to the game, and there will be a legacy when the trailer pulls out. And they do the same thing with the building construction, or that we did with building construction, we'll do with any of the other trade areas. We have a hairstylist that will come in and do a hairstyling program at your community. We'll do welding and small engines at your community. And that's the idea of the traveling road show for the EOP. But all of these stars represent where we've been in the last couple of years. And many of them, I would say all of them, there's a legacy when we leave, something to carry on. Okay, so I think that's just about it, because I'm getting the 1 minute. So these are just some representations of the last few days. There's the picture from that's actually of the house they started in September in Cormorant. We just stopped there on the way through at Christmas, and that's heated now, and they're boarding inside. The building construction picture in the middle, that's Vanessa and another young lady, Tesla, that were involved in the first original Manitoba housing project. Sheldon Uremchuk here from Power Mechanics, and one of the individual, young man from Brochet that's here, and he's in his last year of build, and we're accredited with, NTC has accredited Power Mechanics program in the automotive trade. And then the hairstyling program, of course, is gaining popularity all of the time. It's one of the stables. We now have four salons in Manitoba, and we started with one in Norway House. Now we have 4. With that, I will say thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,